Hey, Coach, so glad you found us on YouTube. Couple things. First of all, make sure you go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Let me help you put banners and all those things in the gym. It's a great community. We do one-on-one calls, office hours. There's nothing like it. And you get my personal email address. There's a roadmap in there to help you become a better basketball coach. Also, go over and subscribe and like. Have a great day.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops. Oh, it's the end of the school year. For people who are listening, this might not go out till July, but it's the end of the school year. So if you're watching, Coach looks tired. Uh, everyone's cashing in. Only a
Yeah,
couple. Yeah.
see, I'm just getting started. I work for a minor league baseball team, so baseball season's
Oh
just getting started.
gosh. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You're just starting to get busy then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. My seniors have cashed it in. There's like 27 days left of school. All
bet.
right. So before we jump in today and talk about creating expectations for assistants, I give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better, the one-stop shop for basketball coaches. What I would have wanted as a 25-year-old, what I would have wanted, that's what I made, and then I'm pivoting. I'm kind of adding some stuff that I think is going to make it even better. So go over and check that out. Going to be a lot of changes. I got to hire a programmer, so prices are going to go up. So just giving a heads up. And then go over and check out Dr. Dish, the #1 shooting machine on the market. I think my record is 27 seconds of setup. The best thing is now the machines have changed so much. I don't even have to worry. The old machines, I was worried about a kid losing his arm and stuff because they were like this big thing. And then
Oh yeah.
now they're like, they got a computer screen on it, and there's workouts, and the kids know the code, and they can set it up, and they can keep track of it. It's great. Love it. I just love it. So mention High School Hoops. They'll take really good care of you. Give you $450 off. So tell them Coach Collins sent you. They'll give you a good deal. Trust me. I've had a couple friends buy them. They'll give you a good deal. All right. So creating expectations for assistant coaches. What do you mean by that? As a new coach that had to probably hire coaches, what do you mean by that?
So, I mean, I got the luxury of being an assistant coach for a lot of times, and so I kind of figured out like what if I were a head coach, what would I want my assistant coach to be, right? And so as an assistant coach, I kind of got to figure that out. And so, I think it's really, really important. My first, job as an assistant coach, there were no expectations. And so I didn't really know, in practice, how much am I supposed to speak up during games? How much am I supposed to speak up
Right.
during, like, what am I supposed to be watching for at practice? What am I supposed to be watching for at games? What is my role in prepping or game scouting or whatever? Like, what am I supposed to do? I had no expectations.
What do you want from me?
Right.
Right. Yeah. You're not going to walk into the minor league baseball thing and just stand there in center field and not know what to do. They're going to tell you what they want you to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think creating good expectations for your assistant coaches and kind of just like defining a role for them is super important. And so for me, I'm kind of a lot like you. I love watching film. And I feel like one of my competitive advantages is being able to watch an opponent and break down everything that they do. I think that's, for me as a coach, I think that's one of my huge competitive advantages. My disadvantage is self scout. And so for me, my assistant coach's main role is self scout. And so it's go back and watch games, go back and watch practices. Don't get me wrong, I do it. So it's not just like, hey, I'm just taking his word for it. I'm doing some self scout, but that's his main role is self scout. So it's almost like I do 80% opponent scout, he does 20%, but then he does 80% self scout, I do 20%. And so, breaking those things down, that's one of the things that I look for him. And then like having an expectation for what I want for him during games. So for me, I'm more defensive minded, so I'm really focused in on the defensive end, and I'm locked in on offense, but really focused in on the defensive end. And so for me, I tell him when we're on offense, I want you to watch off the ball. I want you to make sure, like I'm watching our ball handler, trying to figure out, a few other things, but I really want him to look like, especially weak side. If we've got the ball on the right wing, what are the guys on the left side of the court doing? And that's kind of like his main focus, I think, during games that I try to tell him is like, hey, here are your expectations. Here's what I am expecting of you, and you're free to coach in those areas for as much as you want, because that's what I'm expecting of you, is that's your main focus area. And so I think if you like setting good expectations for your assistant coaches for during practice times, during games, and during your prep and scout, like I think it really helps. For me, from being an assistant coach for not having any expectations to then being a head coach and saying, "Hey, I want you to do these things," it's night and day, the difference, I
I
think.
think it's important to think about roles and goals, but roles for everybody in everybody in the program. And I hand out to my teams the players' roles, but I also hand out mine and my assistant coaches and what their expectations are, what my expectations for them are. I want the players to kind of know that, you know, Coach Olson's going to be worried about timeouts and blah, blah, blah. And Coach blah, blah, blah is going to be worried about, I have somebody keep every possession during the game so I can see. So Coach Morgan is keeping possession. So I know whether whether our defense is working, our offense is working, and how many times they've scored. So again, I think overdoing this is better than underdoing it, as far as here are my expectations. It's like, I want you to tell me when Sam's tired. Like, I don't see that, but I want you to tell me. I will take care of it. But so I think it's really important to start a list of things that just so it can be overwhelming. I don't know what's your thought in that, Coach.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I mean, with you, I want you to tell me when so and so is tired. I want you to tell me when so and so is in foul trouble, because I might not have noticed that he just picked up his second foul in the first quarter. Like,
and some
because
people
I'm so
recognize
engrossed in
some
the
kids,
game.
and they're engrossed. It's like I tell people, it's like going to a rock concert. It's like we're not baseball coaches. It's not like we're not a football coach where you have time between plays. It's
going.
nonstop. So, and I have some assistants that are really good at reading tired in the faces better than I am. Like, there's a couple kids on our team that one of our assistants just can look at their face and know they're gassed. They're going to start turning it over. They're going to start doing this. And I want them to do that. I think open communication with assistants is important. I want machine gun from my assistants. I want them to tell me everything they're thinking, and I will decipher it.
Yeah, I'll make the decisions. Every thought you have, I want it. Yeah, 100%. Like, if you've got an idea of, hey, we should try this, we should try that, give it to me. I'll make a decision one way or another. But I mean, you're here for a reason, right? And so, and a lot of times, like, they're probably right. So, I mean, I'm kind of like you. I've got one assistant, like I was talking, watches a lot of off ball. I've got one assistant who manages fouls and timeouts for me.
Right.
And
usually I'm pretty good at that, but I'm never 100% good at it. So I just want to know all the information you have. That's what I want.
I mean, I get one of my assistants, the guy that manages timeouts all the time, will say, hey, it might be time to call a timeout. And I'll look at the clock and say, oh yeah, you're right. We've gone 5 to 6 minutes without a stop of possession, like a stop and I haven't made a sub. We haven't had a stoppage in play. Like, it's just been up and down for 5 straight minutes.
Right.
No dead balls, no nothing. And so, like, okay, yeah, it might be time to call a timeout and give these guys a break a little bit. Or, hey, you're right. We've gone 4 straight empty possessions. So it might be time to, just kind of reset.
Right. Or at the end of the game, maybe we need a timeout, or maybe we need to run a situation, whatever it is, or maybe we need a play or a quick hitter or something like that. So I think that, for me, when I saw the topic, when you said creating expectations for assistants and assigning roles, I think the key to a good assistant is first of all, there has to be trust between the assistant and the head. And that line of communication needs to be wide open.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because otherwise you're of no use, to be honest with you. You're of no use to me if you're not going to, I don't need yes.
Right. I mean, I even trust my coaches to make substitutions. Like, you're talking about, if they see a guy gas, like, you don't need to tell me if a guy is gassed. You don't need me to tell, like, I don't need you to say, hey, Braden's gassed. Like, if you see he's gassed, get him out of the game. Like, and generally, if I see a kid run off the bench, I'll look at them and he'll let me know, hey, he's going for Braden because he's gassed. All right, great. Thanks. Carry on. Like, So I even give them the freedom to make subs for me, because it's like,
Yeah,
you're
the
right.
only issue,
Sometimes
the
I don't
only
see
thing
it.
I've ever had with that is they don't always put the right person, and it's a fluid thing. Like they might go
Yes.
for the 2-man and I might be going for, again, I don't number the kids.
Need them to go for the 3 or whatever.
Yeah, or something. Or it's like I'm gonna go big this time, or I'm gonna go small, or I'm gonna like so there's a little bit of that pivots that I like. I like that freedom to be able to make that pivot. It's like we're gonna go with the big lineup now. We're just gonna go size against you, or we're
Yeah.
gonna go small. All right. Anything else with assistant coaches?
No, not at all. I think just super important to make sure that your assistants know what they expect of you, and have that open line of communication. I text my assistant all day, every day, basically,
Yeah.
because
We use
it,
Slack.
okay.
We do.
Yeah.
That's kind of our communication tool, and we have like a running text thing. But Slack is,
Yeah.
we can keep our coaches might want to look into that. It's a good way to kind of organize. We're talking about offense, then we start having a conversation about
Right.
offense or whatever it is within inside of that thing. Tends to work. But all right, till next week, Coach.
Hey, Coach, so glad you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and like before you leave. And also go over and check out Teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It's got everything and a roadmap for you to become a better basketball coach. So go over and check it out. And let's head back to the next video, wherever that would be.